All right. I think I got everything I need. Let me make sure I change my volumes. Let's see. All right. I think I got everything I need. Let me make sure I change my. All right. All right. We are live in effect. All right. So people are still rolling in here. If you're showing up, welcome, welcome. We are about to get started. So what I want to do is I kind of want to walk y'all through. We are live in effect. All right. So people are still rolling in here. It's all showing up, brother. Welcome, welcome. We are about to get started. So what I want to do is I kind of want to walk y'all through. We are live in effect. All right. So you'll be able to people are still rolling in here. It's all showing up, brother. Welcome, welcome. We are about to get started. So what I want to do is I kind of walk y'all through. We are live in effect. Yesterday, people are still rolling in here. It's all showing up, brother. Welcome, welcome. We are about to get started. So what I want to do is I kind of walk y'all through. We are live in effect. All right. Let me know. You can hear multiple. Can you still hear multiple audios right now? I think it's because. All right. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. I had to change the audio, so that's what happened. All right, can y'all hear me good now? Everything's good. Y'all can see me, y'all can hear me, y'all can see my screen. We can see the screen. Yes, yes. All right, cool. All right, y'all. It's day one. All right. And I'm gonna be honest, it was super, super hard to try to condense down what I wanted to teach you guys in 3 days. But I think I did a pretty good job at it. You'll have to let me know, right? But day one, we're gonna start with numbers. I know all y'all like, man, I want to know how we can get more customers. I feel like I wouldn't be doing you guys a justice if I did not actually show the numbers and what you need to be tracking, the more important ones. Now, you guys got to keep in mind there are tons and tons of numbers that you could be tracking. These are ones that you can start out with and you can move forward using these numbers tracking. I'm also going to give you some numbers, including employees. Yes, yesterday when I asked how many people had um, how many people had people working with them or if they were solo operators. I had a lot more solo operators than I had people that had businesses, but I put a little section in here that would help you for the people that are trying to hire new people. This is going to help you. All right. And if I'm looking this way, it's because my screen is over here and just listen, it'll work. All right. All right. So if you're here, you weren't here yesterday. I want to start off with this. If you're here yesterday, you probably already seen this, but listen, in order to get the maximum out of this, I need you to be prepared. So please have a pen and a piece of paper, a notebook, something to write notes down. It's going to be pointless, especially if you're not VIP, to where you can go back and get the recordings, to not take notes. This is free. I get it that you're giving up your time. So I do appreciate you sharing your time with me, but use it to your abilities, your best abilities, and take notes. All right. Let's take some notes. All right. Secondly, I need your full attention. If you got your old lady, you got kids in the background yelling, you swatting them off because everybody's trying to talk to you because they ain't seen you all day and it's dinner time. I get it. Just tell them, hey, look, I'm busy. I'm locked in right now. This next hour can make my next year. So it's important that you got full focus and you're actually absorbing the information that I'm giving you, especially when we're talking about numbers. All right. And then lastly, come with an open mindset, y'all. Like it says in here, listen, if you already had the answers, your business would already be done growing. And that's impossible. We're never done growing. We're always moving forward. We're always trying to do better. So there's no way that you can't absorb more knowledge. Okay. All right. Lastly, I went over this yesterday, but I want to go over it again for the people that were not here yesterday. I want to explain what it is that I myself actually can do for you. So here's the thing. There's three different levels to this, and I know you guys have probably seen some people on the internet that will be like, "Yeah, I'll bring you down to 50,000 a month and this, that, and the other, whatever." Man, like, listen, I'm not going to make you any promises. Except for if you do what I tell you to do, I promise you, you'll be able to progress and get out of the van. Okay. That's what I do, right? So here we go. Matt, marketing and ad management is not what I do. Those are the people that you see online. That is 95% of the people that you see advertising. That is what they are. They are ad agencies. They are trying to get you to sign on with them for $2,000 a month. They'll run your Facebook and Google ads. Like that's what they do. They're good at getting leads. That's it. Coaching is going to be more focused on like personal development, kind of pushing you through, which I do a little bit of it, right? I actually do a lot of it, but I don't want to say that I do coaching because I don't want to get too caught up into like um, trying to push you every single day because you may not be able to get over an obstacle, okay? But what I do is consulting, okay? So I take your business, I crack it open, I look at all the moving pieces, I look at what all is there, and then I listen to where you want to be, and then I give you a path to go down, okay? That is what I do. That is where you'll get the benefits of what I can provide to you. I'm great at building systems, I'm great at engineering and designing things. That's what my specialty is. Getting jobs, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. That's the easiest thing. Day three, I'm gonna tell you like 7 different ways that you can go get jobs immediately. Okay. Um, Now it's day one, so we're gonna get to know our numbers. But I really want to go over one more thing before I dive into this. When I originally yesterday, when we had our pre kickoff meeting, I was telling everyone exactly what I was doing and why I'm doing this, right? And so with that, I am going to be giving something away at the end of this. It's going to be a $500 value, okay? Um, it will, and depending on how you look at it, it could be a 5,000, it could be a 5 million. It depends on how you look at it, okay? So when you where you see value is what you have up here and how you're going to apply it and what it can do for you. So it could be millions, it could be thousands, it could be hundreds. You tell me. You just got to take advantage of it, okay? But in order to do that, I want to make sure that you understand what you need to do in order to secure that, okay? Because as much as I would just randomly like to pick someone, I'm not going to do that. You got to participate, and in this, you got to show up. That's first and foremost. You got to show up all days, every day, whether you're VIP, you got to show up for the morning masterminds, you got to show up for afternoon, the afternoon meetings. That's first and foremost. If you don't show up, you're not going to get the results. Second thing that I ask that you do is I ask that you stay active in the school community. So get in the school community. I would like for you to chat with other people, open up resources for people that you can actually meet. That way you can move forward in your business. Someone else may have an immediate answer as well. And everybody's going through a cycle and we got information to share. So I would like for you to be active in there and I'll be watching. I need people to comment every day, like make a post, okay? And then the last thing is we all found this brother over here from social media. So I know we all have social media accounts. And how we make the biggest impact for others is by sharing the knowledge that we have. You guys have run across me. You guys are here because you feel like I can help you. I asked yesterday. You guys said, hey, I feel like you can help me. So if you do feel like I can help you, that means I can help somebody else. So what I would like for you to do is on any of the social media platforms, TikTok or Instagram. Facebook, I don't really care about Facebook much. But on your story, I want you to make a post. I want you to tell others to come get in the room. Send me an @ symbol. Make sure you mention Detailer CEO. That way I know that you did it. I already have one person that's already a leg up above everybody. He's done it every day without me even asking him. So he's really trying to take home this prize that I got to give at the end of the webinar. It'll be at the very, very end. Okay. So after we finish this session, we are going to VIPs. We are going to break off and we're going to go into another room, which you guys will get the link sent to you in the middle of this webinar. So we'll be breaking off, going into another room, another Zoom room where we're going to do Q&A and kind of go over what we've already started for today. All right, let's get started. All right, so know your numbers, right? So let's get into this. This is actually one of my locations. So this is my Fort Walton Beach location, and this is my numbers. And what I want you to do is this is my overhead cost. So overhead cost means these are costs that you have to spend money on, whether you make a dollar or not, right? So if you don't make any money at all, right, you're still going to have to pay your storage or your rent. You're still going to have to pay for me, my payroll. This is my House Call Pro payroll. So this is just the payroll CRM system. And then you'll see here, I have these transfers. Now, these transfers are going to go, they're going directly from one account to my House Call Pro account, which is where my employees, where they can actually have cards that they use in order to get gas, laundry, what chemicals, breakdowns, repairs, whatever, they can use that money there. So I just have an automatic transfer that goes every single week to the another account. Okay. We got van payments. This is actually a van payment that I have. So this is a monthly payment on one of my vans. We got the House Call Pro transfer. Insurance, I boost it. My insurance is a little bit less than this, but I boosted it's about $200, but I boost it because the way that I do mine, my vehicles are all owned through another company that I own, and I lease them to each one of my locations. So I lease them out and then I pay the insurance on my enterprise account and then I bill each location. So a little bit of this is actually a little bit lower, but I have to do that in order to be profitable in my enterprise account. Okay. QuickBooks, stuff like that. So this is essential. So what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking like, what is something that I pay for every single month, whether I go out and do a job or not? If you have to go out and do a job in order for it to take effect, then that's not an overhead expense. Okay, we're going to get into that next. But if it costs you money, whether you make a dollar or not, it's an overhead expense. So what are we going to do with these numbers, right? We have what it costs for us, overhead. We got our van payments, our insurance. We got some of y'all have workers' comp. We got all kinds of different insurance and stuff we have to pay. Now, that's great. We got our bottom dollar, which is going to be the 1800, right? Now, what we'll do is we'll take our overhead cost and then we will divide it by the days worked in the month. Now, a lot of people, what I see do is they'll say, yeah, I already got all my numbers figured out. And then they divide it by 30. And I'm like, okay, well, hold on. Are you working 30 days a month? Because if you're not working 30 days a month, then we do not want to charge. We don't want to divide it by 30. Is everybody getting that? Is everybody getting that? Put a 2 over there in the little discombobulated chat box that we got over here for the webinar version. But put a 2 over there if y'all are still tracking me. Let me know that I'm not moving too fast, that you guys understood the first portion, and now we're moving into the second portion and understanding why we are not going to divide this by 30. 30 is going to give us a false number. Okay. So when we do that, we take our 1800, we divide it by 20, we get 94.43. Okay. That is the number that is going to cost every single day, whether I wake up, get out of bed and go to work or not. It's going to cost me too fast. Okay, yeah, the question box. A question box is what I'm looking for. I don't know who's anonymous over here. Sorry, Julian. So what, Julian, just tell me what part you didn't get. I think you're on VIP, so we can always go. We'll go over that after this, okay? I'm sorry, man. I'll try to slow down a little bit. Okay. So we got our overhead cost divided by the days worked. If you work 10 days, divided by 10. If you work 15 days, divided by 15. That's going to give you what it's going to cost you every day, okay? Now, that's not the only cost that we have, right? We also are going to have the cost of the service. Now, this is the cost when we actually go out to perform the service. Like, what is it going to cost for me to actually do this? Now, I didn't put everything on here, but you guys can understand the gist of it, right? I'm going to go through some other ones after this so that way you can understand which ones I didn't go through, right? So the biggest one that we're going to have is payroll, right? So let's just I put $18 an hour, for instance, right? And so if you are paying an employee $18 an hour and they work a 8-hour day, that's going to be $144, right? But that's not it. We can't stop there, right? We still have payroll taxes. Now, I factor in the 15.65% that is going to cost me for payroll taxes. I'm not paying the full 15.65%. I'm going to end up paying half of that, right? So if I'm going to end up paying half of this, I just like to factor the whole thing in just in case. Okay? Just in case. I'd rather calculate for more than not enough. So for all the people that either have employees or you're looking to hire new employees, this is what you need. You need these numbers. Like, this is why I'm starting here. I'm starting here because this is the most important thing. You got to understand what all your numbers are before you actually hire your first hire or before you continue hiring more. Okay. Now, we take that, add the 22 to it, we get 166.54. Okay. I added in $20 a day for gas. I'm going to assume as long as you're not driving 2 hours away and 2 hours back, you're staying within a relatively small area and you're running your generator all day, we got about $20 in gas. And assuming that you're not buying all Kosh Chemi chemical supplies because your customers don't care what chemicals you use, I'm going to factor in $10 for the day in order to factor in chemical costs. Is everybody with me? Let me know if you're still with me. Let me know if I need to go back on anything on here. I want to make sure that everybody's caught up on this. I know I'm asking you guys to be active, but you guys got to keep in mind I'm talking to a camera, so I don't know if you guys are tracking me or not. So let me know. Let me know. And okay, Julian, you got it. Okay. So that brings us down to the total cost of services is going to be 196.54. Okay. Now, if we take our daily overhead and we take our cost of services, right? I don't know why it gave you that number because that's not the number it's supposed to be. I'm sorry, y'all. I should have caught that. Should have caught that. All right, so the number is actually 292.97. I don't know how I didn't catch that. 292.97. That is the cost of the total daily expenses. Okay. So you got to add these together in order to get your actual daily projected expenses. Okay. So we're going to take our profit scenario a little bit different. So this is the profit scenario that it ran with the 196. Obviously, we're a little bit more. So I'm going to run this a little bit different, okay? And I'm going to show you how I actually get the profit margins, right? So what I did is I took my daily minimum, okay, which is $800. Give me 1 second. In terms of chemical costs, do you just no, so in order to get your chemical cost, it is a detailed process, okay? So in order to get your chemical cost, what you'll need to do is you'll need to actually take the price of the product. So let's say, for instance, a gallon of tire shine, which we all know is just skyrocketing these days. But I'm gonna go back to the OG days and I'm gonna say it cost you $10, which I don't even know if I was detailing then. All right, so you take your $10 for the gallon, right? And then you take it down to a quart, right? So you got 4 quarts in there. It costs you $10. Now we're talking about $2.50 per quart. Okay. Now, what we would do is we would figure out how many cars can we do with a quart. Most of the time, you're gonna just kind of weigh the ounces. You can guesstimate. When you're talking chemical costs, it is a small fraction of margins because you're talking pennies at the end of the day. But we'll take our 250, right? Let's just say for easy math purposes, we can do 100 cars with one spray bottle. Okay. That's saying we can do 100 cars with one spray bottle. That would break my tire dressing cost. Just my tire dressing would cost me 25 cents per car. Okay. And you would do that for each product, each one of your products. So you would do that for soap. You would do that for the greaser. You would do it for wheel cleaner. You would do it for wheel acid. Anything that you are going to use, that is how you'll figure it out. Now, we have different packages, right? And so the reason why I'm not going to go so far into it, because I could spend probably the whole entire 3 days just going over numbers. But what I want to do is I want some of us don't have our basic numbers together. And so since we don't have basic numbers together, we have no idea, right? Since I have basic numbers together, that's why I was easily able just to say $10 per vehicle, or $10 a day in chemical costs, because I know what my chemicals cost. And you guys got to keep in mind, most of my chemicals are bought in 55-gallon drums. So when I buy it in a 55-gallon drum, you're talking about, let's just put, for instance, my soap. It cost me $350 for a 55-gallon jug of it. Versus if I was to buy a 5-gallon cube, it would cost me 50 to 60, 50, 60 bucks, depending on what kind of soap I'm using. The soap I used to use was $100 for a gallon, for 5 gallons. So do the math on that, right? If I'm getting 5 gallons for 50, it would cost me $550 in order to get the 55 gallons, right? So the fact that I'm getting it for $150 less is a win. It's a win. And if you do that for all of them, then you just cut your chemical costs down. Like, it just goes down lower and lower. And we're in the game where we want to have the lowest amount of entry costs and the highest amount of cost coming in for revenue, right? Because we're already in a high revenue margin business. I mean, you can see the profit margins just on this one alone, and it's saying 75%. Now we gotta take $100 off of it, 90 something dollars, which would bring us down to 500. And I'll go ahead and I'll tell you what that actual margin is. So now we got minus 800. We got 507. 507. All right, so we have a 63.37% profit margin. And if you guys want to know how I found that out, take your calculator out if you can, and just do the numbers that are already on it. And you would divide them. You would take the 603 at the bottom, and then you would divide it by the revenue that you have coming in. So if you have 800, it'd be 800. And that's how you'll find out what your actual profit margin is for the day. Okay. So if we're running 75% profit margin, we're doing pretty dang good. Even if we're running 63% profit margins, We're doing pretty good. Who thinks that that is a good number for services? Like who thinks that they're running at least 60% profit margins? And so put a one in there if you feel like you are at least getting 60%. Put a two if you feel like you're getting under. Because I promise you, you will figure it out. You'll figure it out by the end of all this. But you should be able to figure it out by the end of the day. End of today, you should be able to figure it out. Okay. Now we got, let's call it 63% profit margins because that's what it originally is, right? Now we got hidden costs. Okay. Here's the hidden cost. And I know I made a video on this. I know you guys have heard me talk about this quite some time, but the biggest hidden cost is the drive time. That is our biggest hidden cost. Like, and I'm going to show you in a couple of slides on how, right? And why it is. The next thing we have is oil changes, and we have wear and tear, which is going to be the cost of equipment, repairs, replacements, routine maintenance, the time that we lose on jobs. Those are the hidden costs, okay? Those are the costs that we can't get back. Those are the things that most people don't factor in. You've seen I did not factor it into the first initial one, and everybody's like, yeah, man, 75% profit margins, man, I'm doing great. Until we start factoring in the hidden cost. And so the reason why I put the drive time one as the biggest one, you'll see I put it on the bottom, but let's put it this way. So same scenario for figuring out your chemical cost is the same way you could figure out how to factor in oil changes, right? You could literally just put this aside every single day if you wanted to. Like, man, all right, I got an oil change, right? The oil change cost me $100, and I got to get an oil change every 2 months, every 3 months. Sorry, every 3 months. So I'm getting an oil change every 3 months. You notice I put 60 days, right? Who in here wants to answer why I didn't put 90 days? Please tell me if I'm doing okay. Someone tell me why I didn't put 90 days in here and I put 60 in there for 3 months. I'd love to see the answer. 60 work days. Not working every day. Exactly, right? So you're not working every day. So we're trying to factor in just the days that we are actually operating, okay? Because I don't have to get an oil change unless the van is moving. If the van's not moving, I'm not getting an oil change. If it is moving, I'm getting an oil change. Same thing with tires, right? And so if we got tires at $600, which is really cheap, okay? 720 days, we got $83 per workday in hidden costs in just tires. So we got almost $1 a day in just hidden costs in the tires. And y'all thinking like, well, I mean, that's not really big numbers. That's not really a hidden cost, is it? I mean, not really. But the biggest hidden cost comes at the bottom, right? Our drive time. It's our drive time, y'all. 1 hour there, 1 hour back. You guys keep hearing me say this. I say this because this is what I hear. Everyone tells me, oh, I service up to an hour. Okay, well, let me tell you why you shouldn't, right? Here we go. We got an hour there, an hour back. That's 2 hours. That's 25% of your day. And if based off of your $800 day, you just lost $200. Okay. Now, realistically, you're going to have about 30 minutes of drive time. So it's going to be about $150 loss. But do y'all see what I'm talking about? These are the hidden costs. Like, this is how you can lose money. You put two of these in here for the day, and you just lost 50% of your revenue. 50% of your revenue just gone. You do that for an entire week, and you're never gonna make any money. And so a lot of people that I talk to, and the ones that I consult, I will literally talk to them and say, hey, and they'll slip up and tell me like, oh yeah, I just drove an hour over here, man. I'd be like, dang, man, like that you driving that hour, you need to find someone closer. Because I mean, even if you spent $100 in order to get somebody closer, you would still make an additional $50, right? So drive time, us mobile people, you got to get the drive time down. I know it doesn't seem like much. I know, but it's the difference between being broke and being rich. And if you can go to the same neighborhood every single day, just same neighborhood. It's 5 minutes down the road. I'm not going anywhere. I could stay here all year. Can you imagine how much money you would profit just by not having to drive far whatsoever? You have better flexibility on your pricing. You would have way more money in the bank. I'm telling you, you would probably get gas once a week, if that, and you would have money in the bank just by driving right down the road. Right down the road, y'all. If that's the biggest killer. I said it in the video. I'm gonna continue to say it. I'm gonna show you why it is the biggest killer, and then I'm gonna keep telling you over and over. It's the biggest hidden cost. It's drive time, right? And then when you add an employee, right, and you don't factor in that your employee is now spending a quarter of their day driving, and you're just like, he's just driving down the road. That's a quarter of your revenue gone. Okay. Is everybody with me before I go on? Everybody got this slide? Everybody understand how this slide can definitely help you out, keep you on track, and make sure that you are not burning cash. Let me know. Put a one, put a yes, put a one, put a yes. Let me know that you are on track and you're tracking this. I see you can comment now. Two. I got a two. Richard, you don't get it. What do you not understand? Let me know so I can go to it. Going in five, four, three, two. Oh, okay. Well, one or yes. Okay, one or yes. Follow direction. All right. Now that we got our costs down, right? Like there are a few more costs that I'm going to go over in this as well. But those are the foundational ones, right? Those are the foundational ones. People want to know, hey, what's your overhead expenses? What is it like if you wanted to sell your company tomorrow, right? Someone's going to say, well, what's your profit margins? And if you go, well, I mean, I made good money. I got money in the bank. If you say, I don't really know, I don't track that, it is not going to be appealing to a buyer. And I know that a lot of y'all here are like, man, I don't plan on selling. Trust me, there's going to be a point in time that you're going to want to sell. You're not going to want to do this forever. There's going to be in 2035, there's going to be flying cars. Y'all might be like, man, I'm not going to stand on a hoverboard and detail, So you may want to do something else as time comes. So the best way to be able to have the ability to do that is to be prepared from the get-go. So this is why I'm teaching you guys this. I want you to be successful. I need you guys to really understand that, like, I don't mean this in any bad way, but like I've already done all this stuff, right? I've already done all this tracking. I've done it for years. I've already gone back. I've done this stuff. I've already hired people. I've built vans. I've done it. I want to see you be successful. Like I want someone to come from here and be like, man, I took Adrian's information and like just skyrocketed because some of these things I didn't know and now I know them. It's fuel to the fire. I was already hot. Now that I have this information, I'm going to take it to the next level. That's what I want you to do. I don't want you to just sit in here this webinar. We had what, 180 people signed up. We got 12 people in the room, right? So that tells you, right? I said it yesterday. The people that show up are the people that win. And you can already see the reason why I knew that this would happen is because I sat in on a buddy's webinar. He had 3,000 signups. He had 3,000 signups, right? And out of the 3,000 signups, he had 300 people show up the first day. And then by the end of the webinar, it was like 180 people, right? And I'm like, dang. He's like, yeah, man, that's how they go. It's easy in, easy out. When you give away something for free, people don't see any value. They think, oh, well, what am I going to show up for? But you guys are showing up. You guys are showing up. Who here did not know their numbers? Like, just tell me, like, be honest, because if you didn't know your numbers, that's great. I feel like I put all this work in for these slides for a reason. Let me know who didn't. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. So now that you know this, I hope that you can take these numbers and then make magic happen, right? And get down as far as deep as you want to. I took this thing down so deep. I'm going to tell you how far I went. I went down to how much it would cost and how long the average pull string would last on a generator, and then how much it would cost to replace it. I had this massive board where it was just a big whiteboard, and I just wrote down every piece of equipment. And then I was like, how long does this last? Okay, how much did this cost? Okay, divide that by the days. This is how much it costs every day that we use it. And it was like 3 cents for the pull string every day for the amount of time. But it's you can go down as deep as you want. If you ever wanted to be prepared and always have money, right? Know your numbers. You do that, man, I'm telling you, it's impossible to go wrong. Okay. All right. So we had a couple of people that did not know these numbers, which is great. That is amazing. Like, I hope you understand how amazing it is that you did not know the numbers, because now that you do know them, it's only going to help you. That's why I say it's amazing. It's only going to help you. Okay. All right. Now that you know your numbers, at least what it costs you overhead, you know what your profit margins are, right? Now we've seen that slide that had 600 left over. I'm going to give you the real number. So that way, you understand. Plus minus 800. Okay. So that profit margin was around $508. Okay. So with $508, he said, definitely didn't know my numbers. Okay, thank you guys. Like, honestly, it makes me feel so accomplished. Like, I know it's something so small. You guys are probably like, man, I wanted to come here and figure out how he's getting his detailers to work and all this. But I'm like, these numbers, man, I'm telling you, game changer, game changer. Okay. But $508, right? We got $508 left over, right? Now we're like, okay, we can make an additional $508 a day. Can I afford to hire someone? Well, let's figure that out, right? So when is the perfect time to hire, right? When you are having to tell customers no, or referring out business due to lack of capacity, right? So if customers are calling in constantly and you're having to tell them like, oh yeah, it's 2 weeks, it's a month, 3 weeks. I get guys in my area that just flat out brag. They will get on a social media post where someone says, hey, you got any details available? Anybody got a detailer available tomorrow? And they'll get on there and comment and say, I'm booked out until like next year, but if you want, you can make an appointment for then. What? Like, why'd you even comment, bro? No one gives a damn that you're booked out till next year or whatever it is, 2 months. They want their stuff done now. And I'll tell you a little secret, right? My grandpa told me this when I started the business. And so just to give you a little back history, my grandpa has been detailing as long as I've known him. Okay. He's 90 years old right now and he still does detailing. And I learned two things from him. Two things. Two things that I feel like make me today, right? I go by and visit him every once in a while, and he's out there detailing with my aunt. They're both out there, they're detailing. And the first thing that he taught me was I went to him when I started my business and I asked him for help. And he told me flat out, I ain't got no help for you. Flat out told me I can't help you. I'm trying to make ends meet myself, this, that, and the other. He couldn't help me with nothing. So I said, man, I realized that day, I was like, man, I'm in this alone, right? I thought I can go to my grandpa. He's been doing this for 40 years. Got it. For 40 years. Y'all heard how I did that? 40 years he's been doing this, right? Like, you'd think that he'd want to share some of his knowledge. But he told me one thing and it stuck with me the entire time. The first thing he told me was customers do not want to wait. When they want their stuff done, they want their stuff done. They're not waiting weeks to get their cars detailed. When it's dirty, they want it clean now. When they're calling, they want it now. And we're in a now society. And how many of y'all believe that like we're in even more of a now society than we ever were, right? Everything's so instant. You don't even got to leave the house, go get Wendy's anymore. Remember how you had to leave to go to Wendy's? Like you had to get in the car, be like, ah, man, I'm going to Wendy's. Like you don't even have to do that anymore. You literally could just go from your phone and be like, all right, man, bring me Wendy's. Like it's crazy, right? So he told me that. He said, man, no one wants to wait. When you are offering details, you need to keep your detail times under a week and a half to 2 weeks. That's what he told me. Okay. And I've been kind of living by that. I can honestly say that he was right about that. Because when we were booked up 2, 3 weeks, man, we lost so much money. Like people would be calling in, and the next thing you know, they're going somewhere else. They're going somewhere else. And now they're stuck with that person for life. They're with them forever. So that was the first thing I learned. The second thing he told me as I was walking off, he told me, don't go buying all those fancy chemicals. You don't need them. Now, I'm going to tell you why I know he was right. Because when he told me that, I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. And then I was like, well, you know what? Let me try it. So I bought a leather cleaner. I had an interior cleaner. I had a tire cleaner. I had a wheel cleaner. I had a headliner cleaner. I had a cleaner for every single thing. And I had employees that were using the products. And I thought, man, this would be the easiest thing for them because everything has a chemical, has a product for them to use. Well, as you can imagine, right? That chemical cost was skyrocketed through the roof. And there was times I couldn't even afford to buy the chemicals that I needed. People be like, hey man, we ain't got no super red. I'd be like, damn, I ain't got no money. Right? We use the other degreaser that we got. And they'd be like, oh, okay. Then they use it. Oh, that worked out fine. I'm like, man, well then why we even have this? Right? So those are the two things I really learned from him. But the biggest thing that I honestly learned from him was as I'm sitting in the car to back out, I'm watching him work. I'm like, man, I don't want that to be me. I don't want to be 90 years old having to detail. I don't want to be 90 years old detailing in general. Like I get it now I mean, I would love to be 90 years old and be able to do it. But I don't want to have to do it. And I feel like my grandpa has to do it. And I did not want to do that. So from that day, I left that day and I made it a mission to hire people. So a lot of y'all ask me like, well, when did you hire your first person? Like I hired my first person like my second month in business. And I'm dead serious. Like I was so pressed to find somebody because I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna be my grandpa working by myself doing this for 90 years. So the second month in business is when I hired my first person. And let me tell you, I did it all wrong. I mean, if there was a way to mess this up, I did it. I did it. So let me spare you guys. Let me spare you guys on this, okay? All right. So when to hire? So when you're referring out business due to lack of capacity, you're hitting profit margins consistently, right? Um, then it is about that time to start scaling, especially when you're hitting your profit margins consistently. You're consistently having an extra $500 over for the day. After you pay yourself, you're like, man, that's great. It is time to start hiring. Okay. Now, before you hire, here's a few things that I want to make sure that you do. I actually had a conversation about this with somebody right before the webinar. So I'm glad we're going over it now. Okay. So make sure that you have a company vehicle just for them, not a personal vehicle. Okay. And I know that some of us are working out of our personal vehicles and some of us are working out of our babies. Like we have our van, that is our life. We love it. We put everything into it. We detail out of it. That's got to go out the window. Now your vehicle needs to turn into like a almost like a rental car. Like I'm gonna rent this car to this employee. He's gonna go out and do some details, and he's gonna pay me even more money than a rental car service would be. Okay. And so that's the first thing that I would make sure that you have when you are trying to hire someone. Don't be trying to hire someone and you don't have a way for them. Biggest mistake. And let me explain why it is the biggest mistake. If you are hiring someone and you have your personal vehicle and y'all are both in there, y'all are both using it, and everything's all fine and dandy, you will be in that vehicle until you get a separate vehicle for them. And then that defeats the whole entire purpose of you hiring them. You didn't hire them to be your work buddy. You hired them to take over. A lot of people ask me, why did it take me so long? That is why right there. It took me 8 years to stop hanging out with my employees as friends, working together, having a grand time. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. But if your sole mission is to get out of the van and run a successful crew, you can't do both. Can you go back and do one or the other? Yes, you can. You if once you build the business 100% and you say, "Hey, I want to have a whole gang of friends that we all detail together," fine. You can go do that. When you hire a manager to run it, and when you have a full office staff and you become the other detailer that is now hanging out with the detailers. But you can't be the manager, the detailer, the friend, the accountant, the marketing, the HR. You cannot do that. Okay? You can't do it. Please promise me that you won't do it. Just promise me that you will not do it. Okay? Because please, I don't want you guys to make the same mistake that I did. Like I could have been at 200 locations if I would have been locked in. But I wasn't. I was hanging out. We throwing pizza parties. We hanging out at the club sometimes. I ain't even gonna lie. We'd go to the club. We'd be doing all kinds of stuff except for moving forward in the business. Okay. Figure out how you want your new hire to be in your company, whether that's W-2 or whether that's 1099. A lot of people are going to ask me, what do I recommend? I always recommend, okay, I like that. I like that. I'm always going to recommend W-2. So W-2 is like, let's break it down like this, right? A W-2 is like you inviting someone to come live with you. And you say, "Hey, I want you to live with me. I want you to be here. I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. You're gonna put in some work. You're gonna hold up your end, but at the end of the day, like we're a team. I got you." 1099 is more so like, yeah, bro, you can sleep on the porch. Like you can stay here, but like I don't want you in here. Like when I want you to go, I don't want you to be trying to get no mail here talking about some you got a place of residency. I want to be like, nah, you got to go. I want to boot you whenever it's time. And that's the biggest difference. Like 1099 people feel like at any moment, like I don't have a job. I'm not tied to this company. I'm just a 1099 subcontractor. I don't really work there. I just go and work when he needs me. And that's the worst kind of person that you can hire, okay? Enough work to keep them busy, right? So when you have enough work to keep them busy. Now, I don't mean that you have enough work to where you just have months booked out. You already heard me say that. That's not going to work. Even if you can keep them busy for a week, you can start hiring, okay? You can start hiring because you won't be busy enough if you are constantly working and you don't have time to advertise, but you will be busy enough when you do have time to actually advertise, okay? So you're too busy working to advertise. That's essentially what it is. Don't say I'm not busy enough. You're too busy working to advertise. That's what it is. Does everybody understand that? Please let me know if you understand that. Like, does that make sense to you? By enough work is not really the biggest factor on when you hire someone, because at the end of the day, if you have work on the schedule and you have enough people, you have enough work to keep them busy for a week, I think you have enough work to hire someone. And then it's your job to transition from detailer to trainer to marketing guy very fast. Very, very, very fast. The faster you do that, the faster you will catch that loop, because what's going to happen is as you're training, your bank account's going to go down, 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 because that second week you're going to have to pay them, which is going to be a big chunk of money. So if you can get them trained and then make sure you pick back up on your marketing, you will balance everything out. Julian, thank you for responding. Richard, thank you for responding. Okay. All right. So here's some resources that you can use to track your numbers. So we have Google Sheets, okay, or Excel. This is what I use. I use both of these, okay? So I use Excel and I use QuickBooks, okay? I use Excel to track all of my daily expenses. So the day that it comes out, I have it tracked. The amount that it is, I have it tracked. What the actual expense is, I have it tracked. And then I use QuickBooks to tie all that together and make sure that it all came out, and to make sure that all the money that coming in and the P&Ls and the profit and loss, the profit and loss statements, the balance statements, those are all lining up, and just making sure everything is reconciled. Okay. That is why you want to have all three of these. Okay. All right. Avoid these when you're hiring. Okay. Like, I don't want you to just hire just because you're stressed out, you're overwhelmed, you cannot do the work anymore. You're just like, man, I'm just gonna hire someone. Screw what he said. I'm gonna ignore all the boundaries that he said, and I'm just gonna go for it. I'm one day booked out and I'm about to hire someone, right? So first off, I don't want you to hire someone before you understand your numbers. Everybody here is going to understand their numbers by the end of this, right? You're going to know, like, dang, man, like, okay, overhead expenses plus cost of service. Okay, yeah, those are the two numbers I really need to pay attention to, right? I know those are just the two numbers. That's it. Now, there are more numbers, which I'm going to add here in just a few, but you'll see that it's just really those two numbers that you need to keep track of. Okay. Especially when you're small. When you get bigger, 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 there's like more and more numbers you need to track, like way more numbers. Hiring only during temporary work spikes. So that means, like, let's not just hire someone because you over leveraged, right? Because that's the worst kind of work you're going to get. Like, that's the worst kind of help you are possibly going to get, is the work that I know. I've done it. I've done it. Now, when do I recommend hiring someone for temporary work spikes? If you are taking on a contract that is, 50, $100,000, yeah, right? If you're booked up a week and a half and you got a bunch of calls coming in and you're like, man, I got to get someone hired. This is the first time this has ever happened. No, because it could be the time of the year, it could be a fluke, could be stragglers from old marketing campaigns. I don't want you to hire just because of temporary spikes. I want you to hire when you have consistent booked out days or booked out weeks, week and a half, booked out days, booked out week, and you are consistently hitting your numbers. Not just like, oh, I'm busy, busy, busy. You could be busy going back fixing all your mistakes. I don't want you to hire someone just for that. I want you to hire when you're consistently hitting your numbers. Okay. And we're going to track them. Now, treating employees as overflow labor. That's the same thing that I just said. You don't want to hire someone just because you got a couple of extra jobs in and you want to get someone to help you out. Okay. So hiring part-time people to deal with schedules equals guaranteed turnover. Okay. Does everybody understand that? Let's put a one in the chat if you understand what you should not do when you're hiring someone. Put a one, not a two, Richard, a one. A one, a one, a one. I want to see full participation. Full participation. I got Ahmed, Darian, Donovan, Haiwan, Jason, Jesse. I got Connection, Pierre, Richard, Extra Mile, Julian. I should be seeing ones from every one of y'all. There we go. Richard, Julian, Juan, Ahmed, Darian, Nest. Hey, you guys are here. Everybody's here. Y'all ain't sleeping. See, I ain't gonna lie. I thought y'all was just gonna put me on and just try to go to sleep, take a little cat nap. All right. but we're here. We're here, okay? All right, so avoid these mistakes, all right? All right. When people hire too soon, these mistakes destroy their business. Unprofitable because they never know their numbers. Inconsistent because work is temporary. Wasting time and money because they never systematize hiring. Okay. Hiring after temporary spikes is gambling, not growing. All right. We understand that, right? We all understand it. Okay. Great. All right. Hiring is a financial and a capacity decision. Okay. I got enough money. I got enough jobs. I got me a person. I got enough money. I got enough jobs. I got me a person. Does that make sense? One. He said, my son is too much. All right, listen. I get it. I get it. You got to tell him, man, go take a nap. Daddy's trying to learn, man. Daddy's trying to lock in. Daddy's about to put these numbers together tonight and find out that, hey, I might actually have 75% profit margins because those are my numbers, right? If your van's paid off, if you don't have any employees, man, your numbers, you guys are gonna realize that like your numbers are probably really, really high. Like you got really good profit margins. And so when you hear that, you're like, man, why am I not making money? Pay attention to the other things that I said. Look at how your day goes. Look at the drive time. Look at the waste. Look at the setup time. Look at the time. If you are setting up and finishing your day, I talked to someone earlier and they were talking about they were doing something at like early in the morning, refilling a van. That is end of the day stuff, right? Like, let's put it like this. At the end of the day, right? You are working during the day. You're done at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you cannot do any more work to produce revenue unless you're doing other things, right? So since you cannot produce revenue, the best thing you can do is get prepared for the day. You don't want to do it when the sun's up, because when the sun's up, guess what? You need to be out there making money. Sun's up, your money's up. Okay. So make sure that you look at all the things that you're doing. If your profit margins are high, but yet you're still having low funds, you want to look at, well, where am I driving to? How far am I driving? What am I driving? Am I putting a bunch of gas in this thing? I need to know my numbers. I got to know my numbers. All right. Now, I don't know what's happening. Okay. Yeah. That was the last thing that I was going over. Right at 7:02. Right at 7:02. Who here felt like they got a little bit of value? I'm just gonna go for like a little bit. Like who here felt like they got a little bit of value and that they took something with them that they can actually use? Put a one. I like ones. Let's put a one. Three is my favorite number, but we'll go with one. Right? Good value. Nice. I'm glad. I'm glad. I got even like this is just day one. This is just numbers. Like the game I'm gonna give tomorrow and Friday, I'm starting to feel really good about it now because I got a lot of stuff to give. I got a lot of stuff to give for those days. I'm not gonna lie, I got a lot. So make sure that you're locked in. Now, for the people that are not VIP, right? So if you're not VIP, you still can upgrade. I'm gonna give opportunities up until tomorrow to upgrade. Then after that, we're just gonna get rid of it because the site's gonna go down. It's gonna get a little rework, and then for the next event. So you'll only have until tomorrow to upgrade. It's $47. What you get is you get the morning mastermind, which, man, let me bring somebody up. Can I bring somebody up? I want to bring someone up. You already know who you are, because I'm gonna bring you up and I'm gonna allow you to talk, and you'll have to come up. Hold on. Let's see if I can bring him up.
Can you hear
Hold on. If you're talking, I can't hear you. Hold on. Are you talking?
me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you. All right. So we had a morning mastermind, right?
Yeah,
Okay, you were present?
I was present.
You was
Got
present. Okay, that's first and foremost. All right. So tell me, what did we talk about this morning? What was the main thing we talked about?
the main thing we talked about was being positive, setting up a plan, and sticking to the plan.
Hmm. And then what did I ask you to do at the end of it?
At the end of it, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't forget, but it
Okay, so I'll refresh your memory. So I said, tell me one thing that you'll get done today.
was
Sound
it was
familiar?
the payroll and taxes.
Okay. So at the end of it, I said, hey, everybody, I want you to name one thing that you will get done today that you've been putting off, that you have not done, that just needs to be done, right? Richard, what was yours? You still there?
Meet with an accountant.
Okay, yeah. So meet with an accountant, and try to get payroll. All right. So how long would you say you put that off for, realistically,
Like
for the group?
2 to 5 years.
Okay, 2 to 5 years. Okay. So tell me, were you able to get that done today?
Oh yeah, I was completely able to get 99% done, and then going to finish up the rest of the day today to get everything set up.
Listen, 2 to 5 years, 2 to 5 years, right, is how long this one task was put off that he was able to achieve in just a couple of hours. Like literally a couple hours. We talked this morning. We talked again like right before the webinar, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this done. I got the payroll set up. It's going to be all finalized tomorrow." He keeps saying it's not done. It's done. I know it's done. It's pretty much done, right? Just because I've run payroll and set it up and so many things, right? Yep. Haiwan said, "Get one thing done today." So, can we all agree that in order for us to move forward and to hit our goals, we have to get things done? Someone put in the chat like get things done. If you want to put get shit done, I don't care. Put whatever you want, but get things done. That's the biggest thing. We put things off for so long and then they never get done. And then we're like, well, we're not at our goal. Well, it's because we haven't done all the things that we need to do in order to get to that goal. We all got to realize that our goal is here. We're here. And there's just a list of things in between that get us to our goal. Right. And so when you start doing them, you start realizing like to get to my goal is actually really easy. Like it's just a sequence of things that I need to do in a specific order. And then once I do them, voila, I'm there. Right. But the thing is like our mindset, our mind will tell us like, oh, I can't, or I shouldn't, or whatever, right? That is why the VIP program is worth it. It's that $47 that he paid literally just changed the game for his business in one 30-minute session this morning at 8 o'clock. Everyone wants to know what the biggest piece to the puzzle that they're missing. You may already have the information. Some of these things I might be saying, you're like, oh yeah, I've heard that before, right? You may already know how to get clients, right? But there's this thing that like is instilled up in humans where we'll know something, but the fear of never doing it before will stop us from actually doing it. The fear of never doing something. I've never done it. I've never been on that roller coaster. I'm scared to go on it. But once you go on it, guess what? Now you're like, oh, well, that was easy, right? And that's what I'm trying to do for you guys. I'm trying to give you that aha, that was easy moment by bringing up things that I want you to do that you probably put off that you thought were so hard. Hiring someone, training someone, all these things you're going to realize you're like, man, I was holding myself back the entire time. Man, if I would have known this, I would have hired someone 5 years ago. I went through 5 years of hell. We can't dwell on the past, but I went through 5 years of hell doing this all by myself, and I literally just did it. And I put the right steps in the right place, and next thing you know, I have a new hire. VIP access, we go deeper. We do an extra 30 minutes. We're about to end this webinar, and then we're going to hop into another webinar that I'm going to send all the VIPs a separate email that they will be going to. Actually, I'm sending it now. So we are going to have another session that is right after this, and in that session, it's just going to be straight Q&A. Like I just want to hear the problem, and I just want to fix it. You have a problem, I want to fix it. Okay, that's all I want to do. So for everybody who is going to be hopping over into the new one, I want you to just tell me what your problem is. We've talked about a lot of things, right? It doesn't have to 100% be, this right here, but we've had a problem. Let's talk about the solution, okay? All right. I appreciate everyone who came in. If you want to sign up for VIP to follow over into this additional Q&A, you can do so at Detail to CEO/VIP upgrade. And what we'll do is we'll go over in that room and we're going to do 30 minutes of just question and answer. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. We're just going to be talking about what the next steps are. Okay. All right, let's see. Uncomfortable purchasing VIP right now. Make sure I get the link. Okay. Darian, uncomfortable. What do you're gonna have to tell me what that is. I'm sorry, brother, if I didn't catch it. If I didn't catch it, I'm sorry, brother, but you're gonna have to tell me what you're talking about on that. Okay, we're gonna clone that. All right, so Ahmed, you said you're doing VIP. Why this isn't done. All right, all right. So that link is going out right now. It's going to go to VIPs only, okay? And we will be transitioning over to that room in just a few. While I still have everybody, he said you send the VIP. I'm sending it right now. While I still have everybody, anybody who's not VIP, because I already have. He said, yeah, not getting things done. Yes, I 100% believe that. I'm with you, Darian. I'm with you on that one for sure. Okay, so while I have you guys, I need a little bit of help. I feel like I've hit everything that I possibly could hit, but if anyone who is not VIP, can you write in the chat something that you would like for me to help you with besides marketing? Okay, it just has to be besides marketing. I know everybody wants to hear marketing, but I want to hear something besides marketing. That way I can make sure I can either try to add it in, or maybe bring it to a future one. Mm, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Let's see. Hiring a second employee. Hiring a second employee. Well, you'll use the same scenario as the other one. Is the Q&A going to be now or in the VIP segment? It's going to be in the VIP segment. So anyone who is VIP, you will get a email in just a few. So I did talk to someone earlier, and they said that their emails were going to spam. So if you are having your emails go to spam, please check your spam. And when you do check it, make sure that you are changing it to marked as, what is it? You want to mark it as safe. Okay. Mark as safe. All right, let me see if I got another question in here. Employee pay structure and incentives. Okay, okay. Employee pay structure and incentives. I feel like I struggle to see the numbers are right. Calendars aren't fully filled. Okay. Extra mile. Yeah, you'll have to go. I feel like I structured to see if the numbers are right. Okay, so you'll have to run your numbers and then see if they're right. Is Yuri in here? Did Yuri make it? Yuri, did you make it in here? I'm assuming no. I'm gonna say no. No. Okay. All right, y'all. I am going to open up for the VIP. If you have VIP, check your email. Okay. Check your spam, and I will. Okay, Yuri's in here. Okay, Yuri. Sorry, I didn't scroll down. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. My bad, brother. I just wanted to make sure you were in here. All right. So we're going to stop sharing and we are going to move back and we are going to open up the VIP room. So listen, everybody, 6 o'clock tomorrow, who is not VIP, 6 o'clock PM, 6 p.m. tomorrow, we'll be at it again. We're going to start our 30-minute session for the VIP.